Hi there. Thank you so much for joining us for the next episode of Startup Q&A. On this one, question got asked, how do I market my startup more effectively on social media? Easy question, but it's going to be harder to implement. It's a simple answer, harder to implement. Don't go for advertising. That's drying up. And honestly, I've seen a bunch of different articles, one by Andrew Chin that's amazing, that's about how you can't depend on getting leads from advertising. One, because your cost of acquisition is going way up and it will continue to go up throughout the future as more brands get into there, because at the end of the day, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, LinkedIn ads, Twitter ads, they are all marketplaces. They're all auction based. So as more people get in and as more money get flooded in, they're happy to make it this way. And it's just like Google AdWords was back in the day, where it got moved up. So your leads are about to get more expensive. And so that wouldn't be the first place I would look. That's a way to kind of test I would say, actually, if you want to test your idea, it might be good to get pre-orders or to get a wait list started for different types of organizations that have a product-based. Kickstarter is another way if you want to really try to test the market on an idea or a concept. So maybe you spend a couple $100s on ads just to see if people are interested in it. But if you're past that stage and you want to really build a startup and you want it to be sustainable, my favorite thing and the thing that I see gets the most reaction and kind of the most, how should I put this? It gets the most bang for your buck. It takes a lot of time. Like I said, it's difficult to implement, but it's free and it's a quick way to really validate a marketplace and make sure that you're in the right state of mind, especially for an MVP type of product. And that's going to be to just engage all over the internet. So it's going to be harder to do in Facebook unless you're in a really good group. But on LinkedIn, join groups that are relevant, follow people, and also make comments that are relevant. Connect with people that might be in your group on a personal level, and then always send a note with your connection request. Don't ever, if you do not know the person fairly well, do not ever send a random connection request. LinkedIn is already as spammy as it could be, so don't be another person that's being presumed as a spammer. Send when you click the connect button, there's a thing that says add a note, or it says send now, I think. Always add a note. Just make it a little bit more personal, make it a little bit more like a one-to-one connection, even if you are adding a bunch of people. Just write a simple 100-word, 150-word note. Okay. Another thing on Twitter, that's probably the best place, because that's like the best networking event. People used to say it was a cocktail party, but the thing about cocktail parties is it still feels kind of awkward, and maybe you do feel awkward to just hop into it, or maybe you're an extrovert and you can hop into networking events all over the place. I cannot do that, so I actually use Twitter as my LinkedIn in reality, and I use Twitter to network. So I get well networked. And matter of fact, in Atlanta now, when I go to some events, people are looking at me like, I know you from somewhere. And some of them will even come up and say, hey, I know you from Twitter, let's connect in real life, or what have you. And so one way that I've been able to build that out over time is just by engaging, jumping into conversations I have nothing to do with, and just saying, hi, I have an opinion, I think this will be helpful, and providing value in any way I can. And sometimes that comes with a retweet plus a comment, sometimes that's just a comment, sometimes it's sharing with someone else. And so that's just the best way to market your business. It's going to be a slog, but the more at-bats you have, kind of the more people that generate interest. So for instance, I've been doing Twitter for a while now. Now I'm starting to get cold. I'm building out a wait list for KnowCap, and also just got our first international client for Aria. So that's another idea, but I think that really, if you want to stay kind of in the same scope of the question, you're going to want to engage as much as possible. And the best way to do that, especially in the startup space, is to probably work on Twitter first then start branching out to LinkedIn. If you're doing something like a consumer product, you'll go to Pinterest or Instagram. If you're going for media, you might go Instagram, Snapchat. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it, but the best way to do it, in my opinion, from the very first day, is to hone in on Twitter and find out the people who really care about your product and who are really having an issue with the thing that you're trying to solve, and then say, hey, we're solving that problem. Come check us out. We'll give you something for free. Hopefully this helps. Subscribe below. Let us know if you have any other questions that I can answer, and I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. So thank you so much.